Hey YouTubers, it's your girl Shannon from Tesla and Chill, and today it's a super exciting day for us. We are going on the Tesla factory tour, if I'm pointing to the T. So we are going from San Francisco to Fremont, California. So we are making the trip. We've had this in the works for like 2 months. When you make the Tesla tour, when you book it, you have to do it a few weeks in advance. So it is almost January. We booked our trip in October. So you definitely want to do it in advance. We simply just emailed factorytours@tesla.com, and they're super responsive. We emailed them one morning and they emailed us that afternoon. So all you have to do to take the tour is have the Tesla owner in your group, and you can bring 4 people with you, including the Tesla owner. If you have like a nuclear family, like, you know, a spouse, the Tesla owner, and 2 kids, then they can probably allocate a few extra seats. You just have to work with them one-on-one for that. And they only have a few rules when you take the Tesla tour. The first rule is no one under 36 months can go. So that means day 3 has to stay at home with my family. So my husband and I, we are bringing my 2 uncles, so we are gonna have a full car in Kanye today. I'll probably end up sitting in the back because I have the shortest legs of everyone. But that's okay because we are all super excited to go. Now, when you do make the tour, they say to reserve about an hour's time frame for you to do it, and you have to come about 20 minutes early just to find parking and, you know, get checked in and everything. Now, when you do take the tour, you do want to be sure that you are wearing closed-toed shoes. I've got my sneakers on here, long pants, and you need to have shirts with sleeves. And they can be short sleeves. You can see I've got my Tesla shirt on right here, and it is the short sleeve one. But since it's winter, I've got my jacket on because it's freezing outside. Now, I'm super excited to take this tour. I think the rest of the people are coming, so I'm going to sit in the car so I will be ready. So let's go. We're almost here. Okay, so we are just getting out of the car to take our tour, and look at this Tesla covered in roses. The gentleman told me he just got married yesterday. And look at how cute that is. Isn't that precious? I have definitely never seen a Tesla covered in flowers before. The things you see at the Tesla factory, am I right? So we just signed the non-disclosure form, so we're not able to talk about what we see or hear on the tour, but we did get our badges, so we're ready to go. And I'm thinking it's gonna be kind of loud because they gave us some earplugs. We're gonna get ready to go. Well, the Tesla tour is over and we are back home, but I did want to take a second just to share with you some of the highlights of the tour. Of course, we can't talk about what we saw and what we heard when we were actually doing the tour itself, but I can at least tell you what my experience was like. And I can tell you something really funny. When we first got to the Tesla factory, we figured what better place to charge our car than at the Tesla factory. And of all places to charge in California on our trip, we never had to wait for one supercharger until we got to the factory because they were full the entire time. Even after we took the tour, we figured like maybe one of the chargers freed up and we can get some quick charging in before we leave. And even after the tour is over and we went to check them, every single supercharger was still full. So it was kind of funny, a little frustrating, but we ended up charging a few miles down the road, so it kind of worked out. But I did want to share with you that all the Tesla employees are super nice. They make you feel so welcome when you get there. And I think Tesla must have like a really good employee retention rate, because we actually had the same tour guide this year that we had last year. And her name was Brenda, and she was so sweet and super nice. I don't know how she maintains that peppiness the whole year, but she did it. But all the Tesla employees seemed super happy to work there. They were all really excited about their brand. You could tell they were excited about like changing the world. They are definitely really passionate about what they do. So I asked them if they had any Tesla perks that they got as employees, and they get some free things like free lunch and free drinks. They get like free water and Jones's soda. So they do get some free things. I think that kind of makes your day a little bit better. But I asked them if they got any employee discounts if they were to buy a vehicle. I figure, you know, that'd be a good question because they work for Tesla. But they don't get any employee discounts on vehicles. They have to buy them outright, just like you and I would. But I did meet an employee who, even before he ever worked for Tesla, he bought Tesla stock when it was $19 a share. Did you hear that? $19 a share. That is crazy. And then later, when he started working for Tesla and he wanted a vehicle, he sold some of those shares and was able to buy a Tesla outright. How crazy is that? That is so awesome. I wish we hopped on the Tesla bandwagon a few years ago, but Tesla stock is still doing pretty well, so I think we'll be okay. But that was super cool to hear. Oh, and we learned that if you are going to take the Tesla tour, Elon actually visits the factory about once a week. So if you want a shot at meeting him, you might want to schedule your tour for a Wednesday. That's when you have the best odds, because that's usually the day he comes. And I asked the employees how they get updates from Elon, and they said just like you and I do, they get updates from Twitter. So they just read his tweets, and sometimes that's how they find out what's going on in their own factory. So I thought that was kind of neat that like we find out information at the same time they do. So that was pretty cool. Well, that's all I've got to share with you for now. Thanks for watching. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, now is your time to do so, and hit that like button while you're at it. If you have subscribed, thank you. We really appreciate your support. And if you want to, recommend this channel to a friend. Well, that's all I've got. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.